Alright everyone, Joe Biden has decided to apologize for his previous comments the other day about you ain't black if you can't decide whether to back me or Donald Trump. Now, I don't have a problem with the comment in and of itself. Joe Biden, while he is probably a bigot, let's face it, considering his age and where he was from, this doesn't necessarily show ingrained bigotry. It was meant as a joke. A senior advisor and him and all these others aren't necessarily lying about that. The problem that I had with it was the hypocrisy, because Joe Biden's comments, even in a comedic context, if this were made by a comedian, other than the really far-left ones, Amar or someone making this joke, if it were made by a comedian, a Republican politician, you'd say, an independent content creator, a YouTuber, or an alt-tech site like on Twitter or something, they'd get crucified. It would be opportunistically used, even if the context were obviously joking. It would be opportunistically used as an opportunity by their competitors to deplatform them. It's been done before many times. This is the same with like the Tara Reade thing. The big thing about the story is the hypocrisy, not the story itself. The allegation itself shouldn't be taken seriously unless there's evidence. But that never stopped them before. When the New York Times says, well, Joe Biden's very tactile, we've got evidence of him kissing and touching people in ways that made him uncomfortable, but we don't have any evidence of anything more than that. That never stopped the hashtag MeToo far left from crucifying people on the right, or even other neoliberals, actually, like Al Franken, for similar things. Of course, in Franken's case, you have an actual picture of the sexual assault in question. It's a little bit different. It's funny because someone tried to defend him yesterday, and I had to point that fact out. It's a little bit different when you actually have photos. With Joe Biden, you have hundreds of them, which is unfortunate for Joe Biden. The hypocrisy is what matters. Anybody other than Joe Biden, CNN would run a headline piece about how they were the next Goebbels or something like that. We've seen this before with Republican politicians, with comedians certainly. People who literally get paid to make jokes. If they made a joke like this, even in the same context, even on the same fucking show, they would be crucified. There would be calls to deplatform them. With Joe Biden, a lot of these same people who would make those same calls for the deplatforming, for the censorship, they say nothing. They say, well, it's just a joke, haha, it's just Joe being Joe. I think that it's also a little bit, when he comes out and apologizes and says, well, I was wrong, I was too cavalier about this, I should have, chosen my words differently, or maybe just fucking shut up at the end of the interview because you already ran over by 10 minutes. Apparently his wife wanted to use the webcam. It's like, can't she fucking set up a second office or something? This is exactly why Joe Biden is probably going to lose, by the way. He's just totally fucking inept and surrounded by cretins. Joe Biden comes out and he apologizes. The problem is that the first 2 hours of damage control, which were run by his friends, celebrities, other liberals, Joe Biden's staff, his senior advisor, Simone there, was to say it's just a joke, get over it. But then Joe Biden comes out and gives it importance and says, well, yeah, it was bad what I said. Well, this is a 180 from what your staff and so forth are saying. You've got, like this same senior advisor, who happens to be a black female, and many of the others who are sort of campaigning for him are not white. They're circling the wagons and saying they don't have a problem with it because they're trying to set a precedent that as long as it's Joe Biden saying it, they don't care. If it were a comedian or a YouTuber or something saying it, they should be like, their bank should ban them and stuff, and they should be like, put in a chastity belt and sent to a desert island. But when it's Joe Biden, it's okay because he's a Democrat. He's got a D after his name. He's the Dem nominee, so it's okay. And then he basically blows the same damage control out of the water. He imagine that you circle the wagons around because you're trying to defend against an attack, and then someone gets the bright idea of rolling a bunch of TNT barrels lit underneath the wagons and blowing a big hole in your barrier. That's basically what Joe Biden did, because with his particular comments there, he's admitting, yes, it was significant and it was potentially hurtful. Joe Biden doesn't know anything about strategy, and they need to stop allowing him to speak. I hate to say this, but the best thing the Biden team can do is to make him disappear. Don't have him do any rallies. Don't have him do anything except for pretend that the tweets on his Twitter page are actually made by him. Like he can actually operate a goddamn smartphone. He can't probably. He probably couldn't turn one on. I doubt he knows how to use a laptop computer. Maybe give him an old 80s era like fucking Mac computer. Maybe he can figure out how to use that with his fucking ancient floppy disk drive or something. Other than that, I'm really questioning whether Joe Biden has any real involvement whatsoever in his digital-only campaign in an election that, because of pandemic, is digital-only. He literally defeats the purpose of even bothering to discount and belittle the importance of the actual outrage with regards to his initial comments. That literally everyone else in his campaign and associated with it were running damage control for Joe Biden. He essentially has defeated that with a single interview. And this is classic Biden. This is exactly what Biden is like. He is it's with such great ease. It's almost a form of finesse when you think about it. It is so easy for Joe Biden to fuck up. He does it effortlessly. And the funny thing is, he doesn't even seem to know when he messes up. He was smiling and grinning and thought this was great fun and a great joke at the time. Do we really need a president who doesn't understand when to shut up and what to say, let alone even sometimes where the hell he is or what year it is? My answer, of course, is no. This is just more evidence of his cognitive decline. Yes, it was meant as a joke, but Joe Biden, if Trump made a joke like this, do you think that any of these people would be running damage control for him or saying, oh, well, that's okay, it was obviously a joke? No, they'd be calling for his impeachment. Trump hates black people. Trump feels entitled to their votes. Trump is a blowhard. He's lost it. He's gone crazy. They would be saying that. The same exact people. Vapid, opportunistic, grifting hypocrites. That's about all. Peace out.